Hi flatties and globe defenders, it's Critical Think and I'm in Thailand. I'm in a hotel at Nong Khai at the moment. It's pre-dawn. I know that many of you are waiting for pictures from the ice, and I'm trying to get this out as quickly as I can. So I'm trying to do this now, and I notice I can also be known as Mick Dundee apparently, and I kind of like that, but maybe it's a hat. I don't know, but anyway, I'm just going to narrate my way through these photos, and not too much information because I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of research, so I'll try and zip through these. I hope you enjoy it. So let's look at the flatty claims about Antarctica, and the first one is that Antarctica is not supposed to exist, and nobody can go there. You cannot fly there because the fuel will freeze and other reasons. There's a military force protecting it. There's an ice wall that prevents people from going there from the surface, and the edge of the dome is there. So let's see in this video how some of these claims stack up. And first off, there's a capture of the flight path from one of the tracking software. This flight path was tracked by satellites that are not supposed to exist. There is a system being installed that allows tracking of aircraft anywhere they fly in the world, and this system is being trialled now, and this is the result of that. Thanks to Florence Gamer for this picture. So as you can see, we went a lot of loop-de-loops and things, and this was because it was a sightseeing tour, and they went where the weather was good, and they moved around and circled the plane a lot so that everybody got a good view of everything. It also meant that it was difficult to get a shot out the window, especially when you weren't sitting in a window seat. So you had to move around. Towards the end of the flight, I was moving around trying to get a better window shot because I was nowhere near the window in the second half of the flight, and I was next to the window in the first half of the flight, and so the plane was banking, and so moving all the time was a little bit difficult. But here we go. As we moved towards Antarctica, there was some icebergs floating out in the ocean, and they pointed them out there out the window as we continued towards the south. That's the same iceberg. There's another iceberg out the window. I had to lean over my fellow passenger to get that one. And a couple of icebergs floating in the ocean. They eventually melt, and this is the edge of the ice sheet. You can see some very thin ice and pools where the ice is very thin and breaking away. And now this looks like to me to be the edge of the glacier and I can't remember the name of the glacier. I haven't had time to do all the research. I just wanted to get this video out. So the glacier flowing down towards the sea, that seems to be the ice shelf on the left, and I do not know exactly if this is true, but that's just what it looks like there. And there's another picture, what I think is the glacier again and again, and that's definitely on Antarctica itself. You can see parts of the land poking through the glacial ice there. And there's another piece of land poking through the ice, and there's some very interesting patterns you see on the ice there, stretching out for a long way. It's just ice, and that's stretching out across the glacier there. You can see for miles just nothing really, and Another piece of land poking out through the ice. I think that's a similar location. And now I think that this photo is of glacial pools. I could be wrong on this, but I remember them talking about some of the ice is very salty and the freezing point is very low. So you can, in summer, you can get pools forming. And here are some pieces of ice breaking away from the ice shelf. And there's the edge of the ice shelf, which flatties like to call the wall. But it's just the edge of a very thick ice shelf. The birds are starting to sing this morning. See? Same picture there. And there's a close-up shot of a piece that's broken away. And lots of fragments of ice just floating in there. There's another picture of the ice wall with pieces that have been broken off it. And there, I've actually accidentally taken a picture of one of the bases on Antarctica. A little bit difficult to see, and I will have to get a blow-up shot of that. But there are some buildings down there, and I can't remember the name of that base, and I haven't had time to look it up. I just wanted to get these pictures out, as I said. And there it is, perched on top of that little outcrop at the edge of the ocean. Some more ice breaking away. I'd say that's looking out to the ocean, and I'd say that's looking out inland. Not much to see except white, very barren land. A good picture of some pieces of ice shelf floating in the ocean, and looks like these ones are taken by greater sapien, these pictures, because it's on the other side of the plane. When we swapped seats in the middle of the flight, greater sapien took my P1000 and took some pictures. And there's a picture of the ice wall, but it's really the edge of the ice shelf. And a picture of the glacier. It's another nice one. Some land poking up through the ice. Similar sort of thing. Ice as far as the eye can see. I don't see any sign of any dome there. No, does anyone else? So I also took some infrared shots just for something different. There's just chunks of ice floating in the ocean there by the looks of that. Out into the distance, into inland Antarctica, I think, although with infrared it's a bit difficult to tell. It actually may even be a picture of the ocean, but that's definitely Antarctic ice. And looks like I've got a video here. Very difficult to take videos, but I've got one or two here because I know people would complain. Oh, you haven't got any video. How do we know it's real? Yeah, well, there's the video, and I think these photos were taken with my P900 without the IR. You can see it if you can see the bottom right of that picture on the video when it comes out. There's the ice wall again, or what flatties call the ice wall. It's just the edge of the ice shelf. I have a video here. Another video. Oh. Not much there. Picture of the glacier. Now this picture, you can see that the bottom of the picture, the glacier is in focus, but then the engine exhaust is what causes that blurriness on the top half of the picture. Close up of the glacier. An infrared shot of the glacier there, glacial eyes by the looks of that. Some more infrared. And here an infrared picture.
Always going to be different again, that's always the way in this wonderful place. It provides a different aspect every time you approach something. I was saying to someone earlier on the flight, I have never been to Antarctica and not seen something I haven't seen before. And I've been many, many times. It's pretty much true of everybody else, but there's always something that will just...
And you know what that is by now. And another video.
Now, and if you have some questions you want to discuss with me as we move through that, please feel free to let us know more and chat with you. I really want to come out there and see the light on your faces. Thanks very much, folks. Have a wonderful trip.
More ice. There's nothing much else but ice there, of course. It is Antarctica after all. Nice picture again. This is infrared again. Sorry about the focus. It's difficult to maintain focus through the window and the engine exhaust and everything, but I just needed to include these crappy videos because you know what people are like. So let's go over those flatty claims. So Antarctica does not exist. Well, there we go. We flew over it, pictures of it. Nobody can go there. Well, we did, and there's signs of human habitation there. You cannot fly there because the fuel will freeze. Well, the plane flew there and returned quite safely, and there is a military force protecting it. There were no RPG armed penguins or frigates, or there were no laser laser equipped penguins, no defence force trying to shoot us down. There is an ice wall. I'm going to give Fladdies that. Yes, indeed there is an ice wall, but it's not the kind of ice wall that they claim to be. It's an ice wall that's just the edge of the ice shelf. And the edge of the dome, I didn't see any edge of dome. People may argue that we didn't fly very far inland, but how far do you think the dome is? And the aircraft should have at some stage slammed into the dome, don't you think? Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I have to go now. There's lots of activity starting here. And that'll be it. We'll try and get some more data analysis coming later.